We are joined by Denver Broncos captain, leading tackler, philanthropist, and friend of the program, Alex Singleton. Alex, what is Oh my goodness. Maybe we're not joined by Alex.
Wow.
Things are off to a good start, huh?
Yeah, not very technical.
Alex, things on the football field look to be a lot better than your iPad skills, at least. We got to see you out on the field last week for the first practice since you tore your ACL last year. Things look really good. Do they feel as good?
Yeah, it feels really good. Yeah, I'm on schedule. Obviously you guys saw I'm doing indie walkthroughs. I'm getting to, just get back into it. I think that's the best part. Getting my helmet refit was really fun. All those things. It's really exciting, and I'm just excited to continue to take those steps to, be ready for training camp and then week 1 when we play the Titans.
Alex, how much of a partnership is it with, another inside linebacker on the field? Like when it comes to kind of building chemistry with Dre Greenlaw and kind of how you guys are going to work off each other, like what goes into kind of building that chemistry and that relationship?
Yeah, it almost just starts with the basics. I had people over at my house 2.5 months ago now. At this point, it was just like hanging out and just talking, just getting to know somebody. And then it, evolves into sitting next to each other in every meeting and just kind of like, hey, how do you see this? Like, neither of us are taking team reps right now, but when you're able to just talk football and see what the guys are doing that are in, and just like, hey, so when you see this, or I see it this way, how do you play off that? And you just kind of learn mentally how the guy sees the game. And, I think we've done that really well. It kind of feels like when I got here with Josie again. So it's kind of that same chemistry. We both played a lot of football. And so it'll just be, in August getting those live reps together. But, just now is really that mental side of just really learning who each other are, how you see the game, and then you can use that to your advantage, later on.
Yeah, you and Josie really figured out how to play together. I'm curious, Dre had the same thing with Fred Warner. Do you ever go back and look at how Dre played with Fred and see like what was working there? Does Dre go back and look at you and Josie to see how that partnership worked?
No, because I think it's just more of like if we were to watch them together, I'd be like, hey, what did you guys say before this play here? Like me going by myself would be like hard. You're trying to like figure out what both people were thinking, when instead, if we do show a play, because our coach is pretty cool with showing like, us playing, already, and we'll show them, and I'm like, hey, well, how did you guys see that? Because I know it looked like you were gonna, maybe overlap when you're really supposed to, be the spiller or whatever it is. And the communication is just like, oh yeah, so when we saw this formation, I knew he was gonna do this. And it's like, okay, perfect, cool. That's how I thought you guys saw it. But just like without him there, you're just guessing. And so to take that guessing away is, just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Alex, can you pronounce the name of the MVP for the Nuggets real quick?
I'm gonna need that in a sentence. Joker.
There you go.
Joker.
There you go.
Joker. Yeah.
Sorry,
No, Nikola Jokic.
Sorry, I don't
Just
want
a good one to know. Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic.
I told the story on the show of how you booed me when I won that ball.
It was fairly deserved.
Yeah.
You got the ball though. Is the ball in studio?
No, it's at my house in a case.
That's fair.
Oh, you did get the case.
Yeah,
did you get one that matched the Carmelo Anthony case?
Yeah, well, they're gonna go next to each other.
That's sick, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's really cool.
Alex, you just should have taken that away from him when he booed you. You should have just not allowed him to have that.
Yeah, should have just been like, all right, and the next number. No, he came, he supported a good cause, bought tickets. He did deserve it. He deserved it.
I bought more tickets, but that didn't seem to matter.
Well, we took all your tickets out.
Yeah, I figured.
I also deserve to get roasted by your co-host on stage.
Dude, that was so good. That was so good.
It was so good.
Those are my guys. That's why.
Yeah.
The more Special Olympic events you show up at, the more roasting will occur, which is the best part.
And that like kind of segues nicely into some of the philanthropy you're doing with UCHealth this week. How important is it for you to be in the community and like be working with UC Health, supporting an organization like Freedom Service Dogs?
Yeah, I think, first, I think getting into the community that you play in is huge. I think you give back to the people that, support us and give us so much. I say it all the time, football, it's a privilege to play. It's not needed. But without the support of the fans, the community, and the love behind it, I mean, life can be kind of hard. I noticed that, the day I got hurt and, post stuff and, you see whatever, like 20, 30,000 people comment, like, share, react to, an injury. And I feel like if I didn't do as much in the community, and not that that's why the only reason you do it, but just to have, that support and to, show them you care as much about them as they care about you, then, it feels, you feel more connected. So when, stuff that doesn't always go well, whether it's for us or in the community, we can, come together and, work on things and, kind of, give back to things like, Special Olympics that I care about, or like this with UCHealth. And, I know they've done this for a few years now. And, I got to be part of it a few years ago. I think it's really cool what they're doing. The Freedom Service Dogs, I think it was the coolest thing ever. I got to meet them a few weeks ago, and just like, it's, you hear terrible stories about people with PTSD and just like stuff that stuff that people go through, and it's kind of hard to get that, get back on track. And so to be able to train dogs to, do that, I mean, they're man's best friend for a reason. And so to have someone that recognizes your tells, and not even tells that, it's really interesting that they can learn just by, someone's anxiety that they don't even know that they're having, that the dog recognizes first. I was like, that's the coolest and craziest thing I've ever learned. So to be supporting that for, a community that does, so much, so obviously, people, for our country, and then just, UC Health just in general, how much money they raise, through this home run derby is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really cool event. And Alex, you are going to be going up against your teammates in this home run derby. When you were doing your last charity event, it was your own Special Olympics event to raise money for Special Olympics. It was a cornhole tournament. You were pretty good at that, but are you going to be better at this home run derby? You're going up against, let me read the lineup. You got Damari Mathis, Jay Quan, Jonathan Cooper, Marvin Mims, Zach Allen, Will Lutz, Jaleel Court, Quinn, Adam Troutman, and Garrett Bowles. Are you going to be able to beat all of those guys in a home run derby?
There isn't a lot of weight behind a lot of those guys. I think.
Hey, weight's not the most important thing, Alex. Come on.
Yeah. It's not just, when it comes to some athletic ability, I think it matters. Yeah, I think I'll have a good chance. I know Court has done well in the past, but outside of that, I think it's open season. I think, I'll be able to swing the bat. It's always funny, too, I think, when you give a bunch of us a wood bat. You give us a metal bat, I think everyone can kind of go yard. You just got to make it contact. I mean, a wood bat, you got to really know how to swing a baseball bat.
Yeah, no, wood bat makes it tough. Because I know some of those guys have played before, but nobody's probably ever swung a wooden bat before. I wouldn't think.
And even if you were the greatest high school player of all time, some of those guys are terrible when they get to the minor leagues or whatever, because it's a whole new game when you use a wood bat. So, no, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited. I mean, I know some guys are saying like 2 or 3 sometimes wins. So, whatever I can do. I want it to warm up. This cold weather is not good.
Oh, it's going to be cold tomorrow. So no, don't bring those excuses out there, Alex.
No,
we better
zero.
see 2 or 3 from you. And what should we expect? I think we might catch up with you right after. So what line should we draw for you going into this?
So when it starts with, and the winner is, we'll talk about, how well we did. The conditions weren't phasing me. We prepared the right way. You guys will have seen Indy about a few hours before that. Then we'll roll right into the home runner. It's going to be just one of those just smooth, easy, athletic days, supporting a good cause, and just doing great things.
I love it. That's what you're about. And we're going to be out there with you for the UC Health Healthy Swings Home Run Derby for charity. It's going to be awesome. And Alex, you are just the king of dominating the community and giving back. And also being on with us. So we love you and the community loves you. And we're looking forward to tomorrow and catching up again after another successful OTA practice. Thanks for joining us, Alex.
Yes, appreciate you.